Hello to everyone, and welcome to the second episode of Family Harmony. The topic tonight is emotional bonding between a husband and a wife. I feel that it's probably the most important topic that you could discuss in marriage. Because after all, what's the purpose of marriage? If it's just to sleep in the same house, or to just share the kids, or share problems and financials. So for that, I don't need a husband, I don't need a wife. I could do this, with anybody. The point of marriage is that a man and a woman should become one. They should bond. They should be constantly thinking about each other. That's the whole point of marriage. Think about it. Imagine to yourself going to work, you're making $200,000 and you're getting a very nice check, but at work your boss does not appreciate what you do for him. He never compliments you. He always looks at you as if he's unsatisfied with your work. And people always tell you that they're not happy with your work and they don't compliment you. Are you going to be able to last in a job like that? Are you going to be able to work with joy and happiness and be successful? Most probably not. As a matter of fact, I actually know, I have a friend of mine who told me that he left his job and he was getting paid very well. But people didn't appreciate him. People were not nice to him. So he left his job. Now let me ask you a question. Why do you go to work? Is it to make your boss rich? Is it to make him have a lot of money? Or is it to support your family? You go to work to support your family. So if you get your check every single week and you support your family, what does it matter to you that your boss doesn't appreciate what you do? What does it matter to you that the employees don't appreciate what you do? The obvious answer is a human being cannot function when he's not appreciated at work, even though he's getting paid for it. A human being cannot appreciate when people knock him down. He cannot appreciate life. He cannot appreciate his job when people constantly tell him that he's not good enough. There's a strong need inside the human being to feel appreciated. The human being constantly needs to feel loved and cared for. This isn't at work where it's not about the emotions, it's not about your feelings. What about at marriage? What about in a situation where you and your wife are supposed to be in love with each other, caring for each other, showing feelings to each other? Would a man be able to exist if his wife doesn't show him that she's looking up to him and she appreciates his hard work and effort that he puts to keep this family together and to support it? Would a woman be able to function and cook and clean and take care of the kids if her husband doesn't show her how much he appreciates the hard work that she puts and the sleepless nights that she puts and to make this family and this bond and this relationship happen? Appreciation, I believe, is the key to a successful marriage. Now, how do we accomplish this? The human nature is very complex, very difficult. Many times the man says, oh yeah, she doesn't appreciate me and after all that I do for her. In the meantime, he does not see his own faults and how he does not appreciate her. There's a famous story with a holy tzaddik, Reb Chaim Yosef Sonnenfeld of Yerushalayim. The holy Reb Chaim Yosef once had a couple that came to him with major fighting. They wanted to get divorced. So Reb Chaim Yosef Sonnenfeld asked him, what happened? Why are you guys getting divorced? You just got married a few months ago. So the husband, who was from the Hasidic background, wearing a shtreimel, said to Reb Chaim Yosef Sonnenfeld, I went to the house for Pesach, to my wife's house, parents' house for Pesach, and they were serving soup, in the middle of the holy holiday of Pesach, I try to eat my soup, and I see inside barley, inside my soup on Pesach. Chametz. They try to make me sin on Pesach. I couldn't handle it. I started getting into a fight with her. What kind of people are you? Don't you have any fear of God? And one thing led to the next, to the point where we came to the holy rabbi asking him and telling him, we cannot live with each other. We want a divorce. So Reb Chaim Yosef Sonnenfeld said to the chatan, to the husband, he said, I don't get it. He said, give me your hat. He takes off his shtreimel, he gives him the hat, big furry hat. He takes the hat and he bangs it on the table. And a whole bunch of wheat kernels and barley kernels fly out from the hat. So Reb Chaim Yosef Sonnenfeld tells him, do you remember when you were walking down to the chuppah, people were throwing things at you? You know the custom is to throw wheat and barley at the chatan and kala when they're walking down to the chuppah. The wheat that was in your soup fell down from your own hat. And you want to get divorced because you found wheat and barley in your soup. Instead of looking at your wife's faults, you have to look and see what you could fix in yourself. And by you fixing yourself, and by your wife looking to see what she could do to fix herself, that's the only way to make marriage work. I am not here to change my wife, and my wife is not here to change me. I am here to change myself by being nice to other people, including my wife. So I wanted to discuss this topic, emotions, emotional bonding, complementing each other. As I said, if it's needed at work, how much more so is it needed in the house? The wife should be complimented on a constant basis. That's probably the strongest need in the human being's life, to feel appreciated. The Holy Chazon Ish writes, if your wife will feel cherished and appreciated, she won't want anything else from you. All you have to do is to make your wife feel that she is the most important thing to you in your life. It's not an easy challenge, but that should be our goal. The greatest need is being in giving kind words and appreciation. If I ask, why don't you do it? Why don't you give a compliment to your wife? Why is it so hard? Most people answer, Rabbi, I just don't feel it. It's not me. It's a lie. How can I constantly compliment her if I see all her faults? That's one issue with complimenting. The Rambam writes that men and women work throughout their life to go to work very, very hard. Most people, actually I spoke to a worker today and I asked him, it's time to retire. He told me, I'm already retired. So I said, you're retired, but you're working full day. You're working full day. You're painting my house. You're fixing this. You're doing that. What kind of retirement is that? He goes, what am I going to do with my life? I have to work. The Rambam said, why do people go to work so much? He says, because really a person needs 2-3 hours a day to work in order for him to pay for his basic necessities, the Rambam writes. The other 6-8 hours is because he wants to have a nice house, a nice car, nice clothing, to live in a nice neighborhood. Why? Why is that so important for the human being? To physically kill himself, to make a parnasa that is not really necessary. The Rambam says a very simple thing. Human beings' respect and self-image is very important to him. What do people think of me is very important to me. I want to look nice. I want to have a nice car. I want to have a nice house. I want to feel of the upper class of society. It's very important to me. A person's honor and self-respect is a person will be willing to give up his life for that. He'll go to work every single day from morning until night just so he should have a nice life. Furthermore, the Gemara tells us a very interesting fact. If you see a poor man and you give him $100, you will be blessed with 6 blessings. The Maharal Miprag explains why 6 blessings. Because by doing a big mitzvah of giving charity, you will be uplifted 6 different levels. However, the Gemara says, if you will go to this poor man, instead of giving him money, you will ask him, how was your day today? How are you feeling now? Oh, I feel bad that you're going through this situation. And talk to him and make him feel like you care about him. You will be blessed by God with 11 blessings, the Gemara says. Now, if you were to ask the poor man, would you rather $100 or would you rather the compliments and the talks of this man who was talking with you? He said, of course I want $100. I try to compliment my wife and my kids. It didn't make them satisfied. They're still hungry. I want the $100. Of course I want the $100. However, the Gemara says, the Maharal Miprag explains that you get blessed with 11 blessings because you get 11 levels of heights that you accomplished by speaking nicely to this human being. You put him in a good mood, something that even money cannot buy in a second. Money comes, money goes. But if you make him feel good, he feels that you care about him, that's an uplifting moment that you gave him that will stay with him. The same thing Chazal tell us, our holy rabbis tell us. If you embarrass a person in public, you can lose your share in the world to come. You're considered to be equal to a murderer. Did you ever find that a murderer he loses his share in the world to come and he goes to get punished for eternity? There's no such thing. After serious cleansing, he will go to Gan Eden. But if you embarrass somebody in public, you lose your share in the world to come completely? Worse than a murderer? Why? The Maharal Miprag explains. Because when you hurt somebody emotionally, you touch his honor, you touch his soul. You're knocking his soul down to the ground. You're lowering his respect and his honor in your eyes and his eyes. He feels touched emotionally in such a painful way. That could cause you to lose your share in the world to come. So from all these examples, we learn and we see how important it is to speak nicely and with kind words to your partner, to compliment them, to make them feel that they are so special to you. You go over to the wife and you ask her, well, why do you cook for 2 hours, 3 hours? Why is it that you're working so hard in the kitchen? Are you cooking 3 hours for yourself? She goes, no, for myself. I will make some salad and I will be done in 5 minutes. This is for my husband. So how come, if this is for your husband, you're cooking for 3 hours for your husband, how come when you put the plate on the table, you're making him feel like, you give him the face and the expression of, do you realize how hard I'm working for you? Why not give him the plate and tell him, my dearest husband, this whole time I was cooking, I was thinking about how I can make this meal in the most special way that you will be happy. I love you so much, I was intensely thinking about you while I was cooking. Why not give him the feeling of what you are doing? You're doing it anyway. You're cooking for him. Make him feel like $1 million. And the same thing with the husband. When the husband gives a gift to his wife, or when he gives her some money when she needs to go shopping, why not make her feel like, all I'm going to work is for you and for the kids, so why not say it? I'm going to work to support my family. Say it. Let her know that you're going to work for her and the kids. Make her feel like it. Make her feel appreciated. Now, the human being is made of very complex emotions. It's very hard for us to control our emotions. A lot of the times you want to say good things and it's just very hard for it to come out. We have to learn how 2-3 times a day to train ourselves 2-3 times a day to find something nice in our partner and make them feel nice and good about themselves. Once there was a lady that said, my husband never likes to take me out. He never likes to spend time with me. So I asked her, lady, do you make your husband feel that you respect him and that you appreciate all the hard work that he does and all the efforts that he puts to make this family be the family that it is? She said, my husband, this man, he's like this and he's like that. And she starts talking negative about him. There's no reason to respect him. I said, lady, let me ask you a question. Imagine you have a neighbor next door that you hate her very much. She caused you a lot of problems and you hate her very much. And then she comes, she knocks on the door and she tells you, would you like to go on a walk with me? Would you like to go out with me? Would you agree to go out with her? No, of course not. Oh, so if you would not agree to go out with her because she doesn't show you respect, she doesn't show you that she cares about you, why would your husband want to go out with you? If he feels unappreciated, if he feels that my wife doesn't respect me, my say is not important to her, my thoughts are not important to her, so then why would he want to go and spend time with you? So the mission of our marriage is to create a bond. The children that we have is what helps us to create a bond. The house that we have is what helps us create a bond. The life challenges that we have is to help us to create a bond. But it's all about bonding with each other. So how could it be that a husband comes late from work and his wife is not coming to greet him with a smile, hanging up the phone and saying, "I'm sorry, I need to see my husband now. I can't talk right now," and hanging up the phone, treating him like a king when he walks into the house, making him feel that I appreciate the hard work and effort that he goes through every single day to support his family. And same thing for the husband when he walks into the house. How can it be that he does not dedicate a half hour to 45 minutes to talk to her about her day and to make her feel like I really care about what you went through today, I want to hear you out, and to create an emotional bonding? I know that this is not an easy thing. But according to our Torah, the main purpose of marriage is for two people to become one. If you don't compliment your wife at least 5 to 10 times a day, if your wife does not compliment you at least 5 to 10 times a day, according to Torah law, you are considered to be married. But conceptually, spiritually, mystically, is there a bond between you and your wife? Is there a relationship? Or are you just like two roommates living in the same house? The goal and the mission of the marriage is to bond, to connect to each other. That will only happen through compliments, through appreciation for each other, showing appreciation for each other. You know the famous joke, a man and a woman go to the rabbi for Shalom Bait, and the wife says to the rabbi, "You know my husband, I married him for 20 years, he never tells me I love you. He never tells me that he loves me. He never tells me that he appreciates me. He never does anything showing me anything about me, that he likes what I do." So the rabbi turns to the husband and says, 20 years? You didn't tell her I love you? He says, "Rabbi, I don't get it. When we got married, under the chuppah, I told her I love you, and if anything changes, I'll let you know." You know, nothing changed. 20 years, of course I love her. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. A woman needs to hear every single day how you feel the appreciation and the greatness of this woman. The Chazon Ish said, as I told you in the beginning of this speech today, that the most important thing for a woman in her life is to feel like she is the dearest thing and the most precious thing that you have. I bless you and everyone out there that are listening and not, that you should merit to build a true home with peaceful harmony, with true bonding, with true love, with true kindness to each other. And in that merit, Be'ezrat Hashem, may we be zoche to see Mashiach Tzidkenu. Amen.